India's media and entertainment companies are making a serious, structured bet on artificial intelligence, not as a side experiment, but as a dedicated strategic vertical. JioHotstar has set up a standalone AI content division, already hiring for over 75 roles. Other examples: Collective Artists Network has raised $16.5 million to acquire tech driven studios. Eros Innovation has raised $150 million focused entirely on AI generated content. The driving logic is hard to argue with. AI cuts production costs by 60 to 70% and compresses delivery timelines by 30 to 50%. But how deep does the commitment really go? Who is building what and at what scale? And what happens to the writers, technicians, and actors when the algorithm moves in? Listen on, it's Friday, the 19th of June. I'm Anirban Chowdhury. This is the Morning Brief. So first, who is building what and why? Here's my colleague, ET's in-house entertainment journalist and film critic, Rajesh Naidu.
Increasingly, a lot of media and entertainment companies are investing in AI and they want to generate content using AI because the most important thing is the cost. In an environment where it's become so increasingly uncertain about how a film or web series or even a television serial would fare, a lot of media entertainment companies, they are focusing on low cost and reasonably good returns. In this backdrop, generating content through AI is the natural progression and the most sensible thing to do. So there are at least 5 companies, which have clearly expressed interest in investing in AI. First is JioHotstar. Second is Eros Innovation, which is an AI infrastructure company from Kishore Lulla. Then there is Z's micro drama app, Z-Bullet. Then there is Collective Artist Network. And recently, Warner Music, they bought an AI attribution startup called Surreal. So these companies, they have realized the long-term game of, staying relevant lies in investing in AI.
What kind of money are companies putting into this space? Have there been recent announcements of how much money production companies are investing in AI?
Recently, there are 2 big announcements which have come. One is Collective Artist. They have raised close to $16.5 million to buy the tech companies which I mentioned. Also, Eros Innovation, which is an AI infrastructure company from Kishore Lulla, they have completed raising capital to the tune of $150 million in this space.
Rajesh, explain the business model to me.
I think there is a lot of seriousness about this whole diversification because a lot of media companies have realized that going ahead, it makes sense to focus on cost. Like Collective Artist Network, they have bought 3 tech-driven companies. One is Gallery App 5, Terrible Tiny Tales, and Under 25 Universe. JioStar in Uday Shankar has mentioned that they are going to invest at least $10 billion in content. So there is a certain sense of earnestness in terms of, scaling up, staying relevant. In terms of business model, I think it works really good because conservative estimate shows that generating content through AI reduces 60 to 70% of production cost. Even the time taken to deliver content, that also is reduced easily by 30 to 50%. So business model wise, it works in terms of scale, in terms of subject matter, and in terms of production cost. These 3 factors, they are really working when one uses AI as a tool to generate content.
But tell me, Rajesh, do you find this segment of the business sustainable for production companies? Is it just limited to microdramas or will it go beyond? If we consider microdramas being just a current trend and a fad, then what happens to these AI studios beyond that trend?
I think it's not just restricted to microdrama.
Okay.
Across the ecosystem, companies are investing. JioHotstar has created a separate vertical where it is only going to produce AI content. That itself shows how much serious they are in terms of, taking AI as a tool and generating content. One of the things that one needs to keep in mind is the benefits AI related content can generate. A lot of media companies, they're sitting on a huge data when it comes to language, when it comes to cultural nuances. So AI as a tool stands in good stead in terms of creating language models. There are a lot of AI tools which are unable to grasp the nuances of Indian languages in terms of diction and pronunciation. That's where companies who have a long established data in terms of content, companies like Z or even JioHotstar, they are experimenting with AIs and creating native AI tools where they will be able to use AI as an IP and also monetize it. So when I say native AI, what it means is companies here in India, they're investing in AI tools which are able to detect any kind of duplication, and then they protect their IP, and they also penalize people or companies or organization who are duplicating their content. So that is something, it's going to be a very big differentiating factor where companies are not only investing in content but also protecting their IP and monetizing it.
So now, Rajesh, I see a lot of these LinkedIn posts, job openings from production companies hiring for these AI studios. How big is the space right now in terms of manpower, engineers, prompt engineers?
There is not an industry data, but recently JioHotstar, it announced that it is looking for at least 75 people in various roles for its AI vertical. So I think all these things are in development stage. More roles will emerge in India.
The question of jobs have to come whenever we are talking about AI. So obviously these 70 roles will usurp hundreds of roles of actual creators in the industry. Do you see that happening? Basically, will jobs get affected because of this?
This will get impacted because unlike in the West, we don't have proper union for writers and other artists. There are higher chances of job losses for these artists, especially writers and technicians. So that's a risk one has to be cognizant of, and one can't rule it out also.
Right. Thank you, Rajesh.
Thanks, Anirban.
Next, why are companies doing this? To get into it deeper, Rajesh spoke to Vijay Seshadri, Chief Architect at JioHotstar.
Hi, Vijay. Welcome to Morning Brief Podcast. How are you?
Hi, Rajesh. I'm doing good. It's great to be part of this podcast.
So, Vijay, of late, we are seeing a lot of media entertainment companies investing in AI. In your case, also, there is a proper AI division. If you can explain your role, and then we can move ahead.
Great. So let me start with a brief overview of the role, and then I will talk about our Gen AI strategy for JioStar as well. So my role has two parts to it. The first part is JioHotstar, the digital platform, has a tech infrastructure that builds the app and the backend components for users to be able to watch sports and entertainment content on our platform. So I oversee the architecture for the tech infrastructure. And the second part of the role is I also look at our overall AI strategy for the company in terms of what are the big bets that we should be making as a company for us to be able to leverage this new AI technology for our business. Coming to your question on how we look at generative AI, we see it as three separate pillars of impact. The first pillar is content generation and storytelling. This is probably the most obvious one because in terms of going from a concept to a production, being able to use AI in that entire content generation pipeline, I think is one area of focus for us. The second pillar is consumer engagement. We think that the interface, especially for content discovery, is shifting towards a voice visual sort of interface. And we think that across consumer engagement and other features like fandom, AI has a very clear role to play. The third pillar is monetization. As you're probably aware, we have two revenue engines, subscriptions and ads. We believe that AI can potentially power a third content commerce revenue line for us. And we are seeing some very early green shoots in that as well. So those are the three pillars. And we look at all of our AI investments between these three.
If you can speak about the genesis of launching a separate AI division?
Sure. In the case of AI, I think we believe that there is a new skill set that is growing in the marketplace. We call it creative technologists, which is a combination of creativity and Gen AI technology awareness. Our belief is that the art of storytelling is not going away, but coupled with a strong technology platform, we think that we can change the game when it comes to how entertainment and stories are told in India. So the genesis was that we wanted to set this up as a separate unit because it's a brand new skill set that we need to cultivate. It is a new platform that we are also building for us to be able to support this. And to keep a sharp focus on executing on this charter, we decided to structure this as a separate unit.
Right. So, in terms of content budget, how much of your content budget would you allocate to this division?
See, I think it's a bit early for us to talk about the exact proportion of content budget because one, we're not leading with the value proposition that this is a cost efficiency exercise. Our main objective is to be able to produce new forms of content and content formats that were otherwise not possible in the pre-generative AI world. So right now we are focused on quality. Given the proliferation of tools in this space, anybody can create videos with some prompts. But what we believe is that we are building a platform for professional creators and artists. And hence, we need to focus on a variety of technical challenges that exist with things like character consistency, voice modulation that is specific to Indian languages, locations and objects that are very specific for the type of stories we tell in India. So these are some key problems that we are focused on. And we want to be able to address these problems in a comprehensive manner before we think about how to scale this and look at our overall content budget.
Right. If you can, talk about the scope or the whole intent or the scale of ambition this division, aims for. We recently read there are more than 70 roles that you guys are, aiming to hire. So if you can explain what is the scope of the ambition of this whole division?
Right. We are right now starting with first focusing on AI-based short-form content generation. As you're probably aware, we have launched a platform called Tadka on JioHotstar. That's a platform for micro content, has a vertical viewing format. But over the coming months and years, we will definitely be expanding this from short form to long form content, which is the horizontal form, including web series and other types of shows that we produce.
Right. So when we talk about, AI, especially for long established brands like Z, you're talking about a large data in terms of content. So in this whole situation, what we are referring to is language model, using AI within the content, whether it is web series or films. I was reading somewhere that a lot of companies, they are also toying with this idea of using AI in generating trailers, web series trailers and movie trailers. Are you also mulling on those lines?
Yes, definitely. I think one, in terms of being able to produce promotional videos for our content and ensuring that we are able to produce differential promotions depending upon user cohorts and things like that. This is also an area where we are looking to see how AI can help us.
Right. So in coming years, do we see a large part of, the creative force coming from within JioHotstar, or there will be collaboration from entities outside JioHotstar?
Yeah, I think we are fairly agnostic to how we source the talent. Obviously, we are going to give an opportunity for internal talent to be able to upskill and uplevel into this new generative AI charter. Right now, it will be the creators, the users of this tool will be internal employees of JioStar. And at some point in the future, we'll also look to see if we can create a platform for external creators to come and collaborate on our platform as well.
So right now, I mean, there are various forms of storytelling. You mentioned about micro drama, then there is web series, films also. So in terms of usage of AI, where do you plan to use it, to the optimum in these various formats of storytelling?
So think of them as stepping stones. Our eventual goal is to be able to use this across all formats and genres. Things like animation, the type of stories that we tell in terms of drama, action, thrillers, things like that, right? Our vision very much is to make sure that our capabilities will allow us to produce content across all formats and genres. However, we are thinking of as stepping stones. You mentioned microdramas. Microdramas we think is suitable for many reasons. It is a short form content, and some of the technology challenges around character consistency and object consistency, etc., I spoke about earlier, are a little bit easier to address when you have short form content with vertical viewing on mobile devices. But the goal very much is to be able to then migrate from there and look at horizontal content, web series, and traditional TV shows that we produce, where it is either AI generated or AI augmented.
Yeah. Also, Vijay, can you give me a final thought on how AI will influence the media and entertainment content in the next few years?
Absolutely. When it comes to content production, the way I'm seeing this evolve over the next 2 to 3 years is going to be a combination of foundational changes. When I say foundational changes, evolution of video models into what is called as world models, which fundamentally solve some of the challenges we are seeing with video generation, with physical reality issues, motion not being quite accurately following laws of physics, etc. So we are seeing a fundamental evolution of video models and video AI technology over the next several years that's going to change the game. The other area we are very focused upon is the audio models. We think for us to represent regional authentic characters, we need the depth of voices all across India in terms of emotions, in terms of tonality, in terms of accents. We think there's going to be a lot of innovation happening in the audio space in the next 2 to 3 years. Lastly, we'll also see AI become an extremely powerful co-pilot for creators. Right from thinking about a high-level storyline, from there on to developing the full story, extracting characters, helping creators construct the character Bible, being able to generate screenplay, being able to give suggestions on camera angles, etc. Throughout the process, we think that there can be serious disruption that can happen. So we are very excited about what AI has in store for content production, and we look forward to going through this journey.
But how do you look at the job losses thing,
I think we have to think about this slightly from a long-term perspective. I think over the long term, there are going to be new jobs and skills that are going to evolve as the technology matures and we figure out what applications we are going to build and what skills we need. The only thing I'll say is that the failure of imagination is, I think, one of the biggest impediments. As long as we are motivated to think big and willing to reskill ourselves, I think in the long run, it should work out.
Yeah, but there are two aspects. One is the technicians behind the camera, and then there are actors also, right? Actors also will be, they will also lose out on this. In that aspect, how do you look at the situation?
I don't think we can quite jump to that conclusion, Rajesh, in terms of technicians or actors, because I think for the foreseeable future, there is going to be strong collaboration between the artists, the creators, and AI tools. Like I said before, I think the art of storytelling is not going away. The art of producing high quality productions, the art of bringing out the emotional depth of characters by actors, I think those aspects are not going away. I think that there is going to be probably shifting of skills that might happen. I think we're going to have to figure this out as an industry in terms of how do we, one, exploit this new technology, but ensure that there is enough room for us to be able to reuse the existing talent.
Thanks, Vijay, for your time.
Okay, great. Thanks, Rajesh. It was great talking to you.
Seshadri frames AI around 3 pillars: content generation, consumer engagement, and a third revenue line in content commerce. The ambition goes well beyond microdramas to web series, animation, and films. The art of storytelling is not going away, but the tools building it are being rebuilt from scratch. That's it for today. You are listening to this episode of The Morning Brief. It was produced by Vinay Joshi and me. sound designed by Rajesh Naik. Keep listening to The Morning Brief and our other shows, including Corner Office Conversation, on your favorite listening platform. Thank you.